Welcome everyone to our first ever chit chat session. My name is Effie.
Hi guys, I'm Yikan.
So we'll be inviting Malaysian students who are studying abroad to debunk some myths and also share their experiences abroad amidst this pandemic. So today we have Hazirah here to share her lockdown experience in London and also share her recent travel experience from London back to Malaysia. So if you have any questions for Hazirah, feel free to pop your questions in the comment section down below. So hi Hazirah, before we start, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone, my name is Hazirah Halim and I just finished my second year of civil engineering at City University of London.
Right, thank you Hazirah for joining us. So
thank you, yeah.
We know that you recently traveled back from London, right? Can you please tell us what is the current the situation like when you were in London in terms of social distancing policies and measures?
Yeah, so the lockdown in London officially started on 16th of March. That was the last day I went to uni for an important test. And after that, the uni completely shut. The whole London was shut. And also including major chain stores and cafes like McDonald's, Starbucks, Costa, KFC, everything was just shut, no takeaways, no nothing. The only thing that was open was either grocery stores or drug stores like Boots or Superdrug. And that was probably only small restaurants that still offer deliveries. I would say that the public transport services were not reduced for my area because I lived in King's Cross. It was a really central area. I was right behind the station and buses and tube services were not really reduced. So for me, I wasn't really affected by the reduction of services. Probably happened in zone 2 onwards for London. And also probably from May, that's when they made wearing masks mandatory in public transport. Before that, I think it was not mandatory because we couldn't easily access masks and hand sanitizers like in London in general. So yeah, and also public transport was free for us because they don't want us to tap our cards near the driver. So it was free for us for probably 3 months. And they started charging us for public transport in June again.
I see. So yeah. What was the travel process like when you travel back from London to Malaysia? Do you think students should be worried about it?
Well, firstly, I feel like my journey was very smooth. There was nothing much that I needed to worry about because I was really anxious because a lot of people were telling me this and that from here and there, like you have to do the swab test and you have to really maintain your social distancing and stuff like that. And I did do a swab test 72 hours before my flight. I did it exactly 71 hours. I did it under the free NHS service. So I did mine in Camden. That was the nearest to King's Cross. And the results luckily reached me exactly 24 hours after I did it. So that was a risk that I was taking because they gave you a window of 72 hours to get your results. So that was that. And I got my test results. So they gave me via email and also SMS. So I had 2 documents ready with me when I went to the airport. And I feel like it's important to reach the airport early because my flight was at 11 o'clock in the morning and I reached at 7:30 a.m. And I thought it was a considerably early time. But when I went there, actually the line was really long. And it was not just for Malaysia Airlines because we were at Terminal 2. I think that was the only terminal open for all other airlines other than British Airways. So we're talking about Emirates and Qatar and such. everything was just full. And I feel like it was just another busy day in Heathrow. Like you wouldn't feel like it's a pandemic, you know? So I went through a long line, and I was thankful that I had my 𝗙𝗏𝗧 app, because they wouldn't let you proceed in like a certain point in the line unless you have that app downloaded. So I got that downloaded, and then everything was pretty smooth. But I realized that they were really, really strict with low luggage limit. Like I do understand that international airports abroad, like they're generally very strict with it. But then, like, you know, sometimes they will kind of like let you go with this 1-2 kilograms extra. But I don't think that was the case for this time, because there was this girl next to the counter of mine, and she was like probably off by 0.5 kilograms, and they were like, we were not having it, we're not going to take in your luggage, just like unpack until it like becomes exactly that weight. So I think if you're gonna go to the airport and hope that they're gonna like let you go, I don't think that's gonna happen. That did not happen for me, because I knew that I wasn't gonna reach the limit, so I bought extra weight limit, so that was like no problem for me. So that was before security, and after security, everything was pretty smooth. There were hand sanitizers at every corner of the airport, like literally at every corner of your eye, there are hand sanitizers all over the place. One thing though, the thing is, I don't think the time matters, but there's only one cafe that's open for Heathrow Airport. And because of that, the line is very, very long. Like I was there at 8 a.m. and I had to line up at like for 25 minutes just to get a cup of coffee. So I feel like if you're traveling in the evening, definitely come like a few hours or more earlier if you kind of want to get something, or you could just stop by like what KFC or Starbucks before you come to the airport if you're planning to drink in the airport, you know. So there was that, and I feel like boarding the plane was pretty smooth. Everything was pretty smooth, and nothing was that different. They just took your temperature before boarding, like at the gate, and that was pretty much it. And I think it's standard for all the airplanes. I realized all the airlines, they will have their cabin crew be dressed up in PPE and all these goggles and masks and their gloves. So really, you go into the airplane like not worrying about anything, like you're reassured everything's safe. And I think for all the airplanes as well, they'll give you this little pouch where you have all your few packets of hand sanitizers and few packets of hand wipes, and they'll give you like 1-2 masks. So really, if you like showed up with just your luggage and nothing else, I think you could like survive, because they really give you everything in the flight. Like I came with no hand sanitizer, and that was like pretty okay for me, because they give you more than you need in the airplane. So yeah, and in the airplane as well, unfortunately, there was no social distancing. I think it's because they were just trying to fill in the quota. However, I think everyone just understood that we're trying to be hygienic. We're in the pandemic. So everyone had their masks the whole flight and only took it off when they were eating and stuff like that. And I think another thing was also the toilets were really clean, like throughout the whole flight, because I think sometimes during long haul flights, like 13 to 20 hours, like you will realize at the end of the flight, sometimes it becomes a bit dirty at the end, but like I think everyone was like really doing their part. So because I'm the type that goes to the toilet a lot, so I do worry about it, but then I just went and it was like pretty okay. So I would say the whole flight was really nothing to be anxious about. It was just really, really normal. And then we landed earlier than usual. And I would say it took us probably 2 hours from landing to luggage claiming, or like landing to like passport immigration. I feel it took 2 hours, because you landed and then there were like long lines. Even at 6 a.m. I reached Kuala Lumpur at 6 a.m. The line was really, really long. I think they were trying to get everyone to like fill in the 𝗙𝗏𝗧 app. Like there's this form you have to fill and a to-do list. You put in your flight details and you put in your health status and whatever it is they ask you to do. And then there were like a lot of counters, because apparently, unfortunately, at the airport, they did not accept our NHS results. Like I tested negative for coronavirus, and they didn't accept it because they said it was an unofficial document. I don't know what they want instead, but instead I had to do the swab test. Like I think all the other international students with me redid the swab test, even though all of us had the same NHS email. So it was like a lot of counters, like every counter you had to line up, and then they question you a few things. It was really simple questions, but it was long because there were different counters and you had the swab test. And then after that, they will give you this like bracelet thing. And then after that, it was more waiting for your results. And I feel like another thing would be if you're a student coming back to Malaysia, I think it's great for you to have your BRP and your student ID in hand. Like don't put in your big luggage, because you get exempted from paying if you show your student ID. So I showed my student ID. other people showed their BRP and all of us got exempted from paying. Like you have to show it at the payment counter. So after that, it was just really smooth. And then you had your passport check, your luggage claiming, and then that was pretty much it. Like it was just 2 hours and then it's done.
I think that's quite good, like, because knowing that traveling back, because sometimes we may heard like some rumors about how difficult it is or how unsafe it is, but I think based on your explanation, it's perfectly fine. And I know that recently there's a change that you probably don't need to do your tests before your flight, so you can actually do the swab test itself once you reach in the airport. I think we actually have some questions from the students. I think 𝗙𝗦𝗏𝗧, is it your friend? Yeah, he said hi.
Oh yeah, hi Edward.
So one of the students asked that, is there any kind of support provided by maybe student unions or even the government or maybe even your university during your stay during the lockdown in the UK? Because I know that you actually spent around 2 to 3 months maybe since the former lockdown.
I spent 4 months.
You feel supported? Like what kind of support that you actually have during that time?
I feel like mainly what my uni gave us was mental health support, and also we get to, there's this form, like usually we would have this thing called extenuating circumstances form for normal circumstances, but during COVID-19 they have this student support form where if you're affected in any way at all, like even if your parents are sick, like you're not affected but other people near you are affected, you fill in this form and then they reconsider it, and then they'll either give you a resitting of the exam or resitting of your coursework, or they'll kind of exempt you. Like it's a case-to-case basis. In terms of academic support, I would say that that's what my uni offered us. And for me, that got me through. Unfortunately, that didn't really give me any extensions because I think my reasoning wasn't that strong, but then they did give me a resitting and stuff like that. And my lecturers were really active via their emails. Like they reply my emails like in 12 hours, in 10 hours, like they just reply really quick. I think they understood that it's a really difficult time for everyone. And mental health services in the uni, I think all unis can agree. I mean, all students can agree that all the unis kind of like push their mental health support to just tell the students that they're there for them. So that's for the uni side. For the government side, I only use the NHS service, the free swab test. Other than that, I don't think I use any of their services. Maybe because I was kind of well in the UK because I was lucky to be in a really good accommodation. It was a really central area. I was close to all the grocery stores. So I had access to all the things that I needed. So I didn't really reach out to the government for any help. So yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe it's also quite like a lot of students actually abroad, we are quite supported as well. Like it's not like a very kind of dead city or something, like you still kind of get really necessities from time to time. I think there's also one more question, like for students who are actually preparing to return to Malaysia or considering returning recently, is there any kind of advice that you will give them, like as someone who has actually recently traveled back? Maybe it's not only just the technicalities of the process, maybe any kind of general advice that you will give them?
I feel like the most important thing is to really calm yourself down, because I understand that you're overwhelmed by all these news coming around and the government is announcing things every single day. The most important thing is to really calm down, because I feel like there's really nothing to be anxious about. If you've got your passport, if you've got everything settled, then I feel like with a calm kind of situation, just go for the flight and just, I feel like there's no preparation before the flight because everything is there for you during the flight and at the airport. There are a lot of people helping you at the airport. There are a lot of like workers there ready to help you. And in 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗧 as well, a lot of people from, I think, 𝗙𝗩𝗏𝗧 Kesihatan, they were there, and also just general staff in 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗧, they were there to help you like every step of the way. So I feel the most important thing is to make sure you have all these important things like your BRP, your student ID, luggage limit, just pay attention to it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's just, I feel like it's good to just make sure that you have the important things and you'll really be fine.
Yeah, maybe it's like come out with a checklist and then just make sure you have everything and we'll get yourself.
It's just another flight abroad. Yeah, just take it as another flight abroad. It's really that smooth of a journey, I feel.
Thank you so much.
From what you share with us, I find it really like straightforward and really assuring as well. So I believe that students will find this session very helpful. So thank you, Hazirah, for sharing your experiences with us today. And thanks everyone who's been tuning in to our session today. We have more of these sessions coming up soon, and we'll be talking to students from different regions in the UK and also from other countries as well. So do check out our social media for more information. So our next session will be on the 27th of July. So stay tuned and take care. We'll see you soon.
Thank you so much, Hariza, for all of your help. And I think if
problem.
everyone have any questions, I can always get in touch with us. And we can even get in touch with you personally if there's anything like specifically directed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If there's anything, I would definitely be like ready to answer anyone's questions, because I feel like I will be ready to answer anyone's questions, because really I would like to help people who really have questions about like journey to Malaysia, because everyone's just generally anxious, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hariza.
Oh, thanks again. Thank you, Hazirah.
Yeah,
all the best to you and take care.
No problem.
Take care, everyone.
Bye. Okay.
Thank you. All the best to everyone too. Okay, bye-bye. Good night. Okay, do I exit? Do I exit now?